Aigeus Comes to Troizen. At this time, a young Aigeus, king of Athens, who was childless, consulted the Delphic oracle. Aigeus wanted to know why he had no son and what he should do about it, for he worried about passing his kingdom on. The oracle told him to not untie the wineskin until he reached Athens. Aigeus ignored the obvious interpretation of the prophecy. Instead of returning home straight away, he decided to stop in Troizen to consult with the king there, Theseus. Upon hearing the prophecy, Theseus knew what the oracle meant. But he too had an idea that Aigeus could divorce his wife to marry the Princess Aithra, Theseus's daughter. Theseus invited Aigeus to tarry a while, and then he ordered a feast prepared in the king of Athens' honor. Theseus then pulled his daughter aside to instruct her on how they would proceed to snare Aigeus as her husband. They would ply him with wine. After the feast, Aithra invited the drunk Aigeus to a walk along the seashore, where she then challenged him to a midnight swim. Close by, on a small island, was an elegant little palace. Aithra removed her clothing, dove into the water, and then swam toward this palace. Aigeus followed her. Before they reached the opposite shore, the king of Athens could not keep his body away from the princess of Troizen. On the sandy beach and then on the bed inside the palace, they satisfied their lust until satiated. Afterwards, they fell asleep. Aigeus was aware of why Aithra had led him to this magical room. In the middle of the night, he left her bed to swim back to Troizen. There he buried his sandals and his sword. He then left instructions with Aithra's serving woman. Aigeus left Troizen for Athens. When the sun came up, Aithra awoke to find a different man in bed with her. At first she was startled, but something about this man calmed her. He had a perfect form. His skin was radiant. She gently touched him. He awoke. He smiled at her. He arose from the bed. Standing before her in his unclothed beauty, he spoke to her, saying these words.
Aithra, you will bear a son. You shall name him Theseus. This boy will be a prince with the heart of a god.
In her mind, Aithra knew she faced a god. He turned from her to walk out of the room. Aithra followed him. She watched as the god walked across the water. When he was 100 feet out, he turned back to face Aithra. He slowly sank into the sea. Surely he was Poseidon. Aithra felt honored that she should be so favored. She dressed to return to her own palace on the mainland. There her serving woman approached her. She said the following. The king, Aigeus, has returned to Athens. He left his sandals and sword buried under yonder rock. If you have a son, when he approaches manhood, you are to tell him of his father. If he is a worthy boy, he will find the rock and dig out the sandals and sword. Aigeus say that by these items will he know his son when he comes to Athens.